wonder, you talk about those 100 balls. That's what DK is going to be able to provide for a team like the Kansas City Chiefs.
We are headed to the NFL Draft in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and you can come with us. Visit travelwisconsin.com/draft to learn how to win a trip to experience the biggest moment of the offseason. Terms and conditions apply. Well, guys, a lot of those draft selections will be predicated on what happens with free agency. So we're going to play a little game of NFL Matchmaker, wide receiver edition.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a guy that's available or potentially available and tell you where I would like to see them land, and you let me know your thoughts.
Okay.
Ready? First things first, DK Metcalf. He's requested out of Seattle. CC, what if we place DK Metcalf in Green Bay where the draft is going to be?
Smalls, you know I love this. When this came up a couple of days ago, that was the first place that I thought of, just because there's a need there for a wide receiver of his skill set. Remember, Christian Watson got hurt in their regular season finale against the Chicago Bears. That was in January, so it's going to be hard to depend on him on the early part of the season. DK Metcalf has that deep speed, can meet that role that they have in that offense. Plus, you know that DK Metcalf is not going to be an impediment to the development of the young wide receivers, because look at what JSN has turned into in Seattle, a first-round pick from a couple of years ago, a bona fide stud. So DK Metcalf sounds like he'd be a good locker room guy. From a scheme standpoint, would be a good fit in Green Bay. I love that for Jordan Love.
You said already that you would not give up a first for him, Smalls. As a Packers fan, would you give up a second and a late-round pick for him?
Yeah.
Knowing you then are going to give him $30 million.
Ooh, that's a lot. But
per year. Let me $30 million per year.
But if I'm the Packers, everything that CC just said applies. He's a deep threat. He's physically imposing. I know that he's going to be a good locker room guy. He's going to give Jordan Love another weapon. And if you're the Packers, you have to keep pace in your own division. The Bears are getting better. The Lions are coming back healthy. Who knows what's going to happen with the Vikings? So I would rather push my chips in now and give up something for a proven commodity in DK Metcalf.
So there's going to have to be a new deal in your mind once they trade for DK Metcalf?
For sure, yeah. And this feels very un-Packers-like. I'm not saying they wouldn't do it, because guess what? A year ago, Josh Jacobs, Xavier McKinney felt un-Packers-like in the way in which they operated and have operated. But this would feel really un-Packers-like, giving up a high premium pick and then a lot of money to a player they've never had in their building. Regardless of who that player is, that's not about DK. That's about anybody.
Okay.
A lot of money.
Could be worth it, though. Could be worth it.
A lot of money.
They're right on the cusp. Next one, Evan, we'll start with you. Cooper Kupp. What if we put him in a place that loves to collect stars? And we know that Cooper Kupp, Super Bowl MVP, is a bright, bright star. What about we give Dak Prescott another weapon and he goes to the Dallas Cowboys?
I like it for Dallas. I don't know why Cooper Kupp would want that. Like, why would he want that? Why would voluntarily, if he has options, would that be a place that he'd want to sign? At best, they're the third best team in their division. They're more likely than not going to be a playoff team as we sit here today. There's so much drama around that team. And he comes from a Rams team, amazingly enough, that even though they're in LA, even though they have somewhat of a famous head coach now in Sean McVay, it feels drama-less. I don't know why Cooper Kupp would want to sign up for that. I do know why the Cowboys would sign up for that.
Yeah, I mean, Cooper Kupp being the number 2 means he's going to get a lot of one-on-one situations. And for a guy that creates a ton of separation and is quarterback friendly, I absolutely love the fit. It's exactly what the Dallas Cowboys need. The only question is, how much is it going to cost? Because we know the Dallas Cowboys got a lot of business to do, including taking care of their own this offseason. I don't know that they would be the highest bidders for Cooper Kupp. And if they're not, then why would Cooper Kupp, as Evan said, sign up for that?
And I assume, Smalls, I don't want to put words in your mouth, I assume you're saying by way of free agency here that he would get cut, meaning the Cowboys would not trade for him.
He's likely going to get released.
I could just see Jerry Jones doing something drastic for him because he's a proven commodity and a big-time name.
I do want to do one little promotion here at Unsports ESPN and social media as we're doing NFL Matchmaker. Smalls giving us wide receivers, and the destination. Go to @Unsports ESPN and look at Canty dancing. Go on social media. Go ahead, Smalls.
Was this at the open of the show?
So good. Look at this. Look at you. The 5-hour energy and you just dancing around doing the shimmy. That's why you need to follow us on social @Unsports ESPN. Continue, Smalls.
Next one, Devante Adams. Originally, I wanted a reunion with Devante and Green Bay, but now I have a different option here, because if this plays out the way that I anticipate and DK Metcalf goes to the Packers, that means Devante Adams needs to go elsewhere. CC, he's been following around quarterbacks for the past couple of years with little to no success and a lot of dysfunction. What if I place him in a place that needs a wide receiver, and that is the model of stability and functionality in the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I just don't know why Devante Adams would want it. Given what's been going on, the quarterback situation that he had to contend with in Las Vegas where it was a revolving door, why would he knowingly sign up for that when there's so much uncertainty at that position in Pittsburgh? I don't love that fit, even though Pittsburgh has a need in terms of being able to find another weapon on the outside opposite of George Pickens. The place that I actually love Devante Adams, the San Francisco 49ers. They already traded away Deebo Samuel. They're looking to move Brandon Ayuk. They're fielding offers for him if somebody wants to come and take that contract off their hands. Devante Adams with Kyle Shanahan, Brock Purdy, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey. I actually love that fit for Devante. Going back on the West Coast, a lot closer to home. Devante Adams, San Francisco 49ers. Love it if they can make that happen.
That's good.
Why would Devante do this? And if he would, in terms of going to Pittsburgh in your matchmaker scenario, how I'm reading this, Smalls, is he's going to wait a while. Meaning he's not going to be off the board Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of next week because you can't sign up for nothing at the quarterback position. That's not an insult to Fields or Wilson. Like, they literally don't have a quarterback on their roster. So that means Devante is like a second wave free agent. I don't think he's going to be. I think he's going to be. He could sign before free agency. Because he got released, he could actually sign before Monday. He could sign during the show today.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Whatever Pittsburgh decides to do at quarterback, and it's still a question mark, do we think that whatever they do, we trust Mike Tomlin and that organization enough for it to be better than whatever Aaron Rodgers is going to do next year?
Yeah, well, okay.
Because
that's a low bar to clear, though.
But that's what he's been doing. He's been following around Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr, and he's had little to no team success.
Is your scenario with Rodgers in Pittsburgh?
No.
I'm just saying. It's been a lot. I mean, Devante Adams is the worst general manager in the league. No, I'm serious. Like, his decision-making on who to join has been horrible. His decision-making on how to play football and how to act as a person, through the roof. But who to follow? Horrible. So, I mean, be careful what you wish for if you're picked by Devante Adams.
Yeah, if you're going to follow somebody out of the building, choose your Jerry Maguire with some care. All right, last one, guys. What about Stefon Diggs?
What about him?
I'm looking at one specific team that needs to add on the offensive side of the ball. Their superstar had a dip in production this year. They're coming off a very tough loss, and they're looking to add and fortify themselves. Evan, what about Steph Diggs to the Kansas City Chiefs?
Okay. I've been waiting for you in your matchmaker games to put somebody in Kansas City.
We keep wondering what they're up to.
I don't know that he's the someone. Why would Houston not make it obvious that they want to re-sign him? Got hurt last year. They go yesterday and trade for Christian Kirk from the Jaguars. Why was Buffalo excited to get rid of him? Why was Minnesota excited to get rid of him?
Well, wait a minute.
I'm just asking the question.
Wait a minute now. The relationship between C.J. Stroud, Steph Diggs, and DeMeco Ryans was not what we saw with Steph Diggs in Buffalo with Josh Allen and
right.
Sean McDermott.
Yeah.
It was not that.
No,
they loved having him there.
Totally.
They were the ones that said some things may have got lost in translation in terms of how he communicated with his former team versus them in Houston last year. So let's not frame it like that with Steph Diggs. He got hurt. It was unfortunate. He's going into a contract year. Now he's a free agent. I don't think it was an attitude issue down in Houston as much as it might have been Steph Diggs fitting in from a scheme standpoint.
But the other two were. So 2 of 3 were personality clashes. And I'm not saying he's at fault.
But you are saying that.
Well, I mean, at some point you kind of have a trend, right, of personality clashes.
But that wasn't the situation in Houston.
Right.
The most recent information that we have.
But I would rather Devante Adams with the Chiefs. He just has bad decisions in terms of who he picks at Rodgers and Carr. No personality clashes with him.
But don't we think that the Kansas City Chiefs are really strengthened in the culture aspect of their team? I mean, you go in there, you know who's the boss, you know what you're signing up for. And it's kind of New England-esque where you go there because you are hoping that you're going to get a ring and you're going to fall in line with what Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes do.
Can I ask you a wild question on this? Do the Chiefs even need a wide receiver?
Yeah.
Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy?
They need a wide receiver.
They need to add somebody. Travis Kelce's production dipped. I think
they need a wide
coming off
receiver.
that Super Bowl, they need somebody else.
Yeah, I'd go Evan Ingram if I'm them.
I don't hate it.
I like the idea of trying to find the Kelce replacement, being trained by Kelce for a year. A pass-catching weapon at the tight end position that's not a blocker, which is Kelce, right? I kind of like Kelce training a guy for a year.
Yeah, but they need one more guy. They need a big boy that can play on the outside, win one-on-ones consistently.
Is that Diggs, or would that be more Adams? If you had to pick one of the two,
it was Diggs. I don't know if that's him anymore. That's the problem with him coming off of that ACL injury at this stage in his career, right? Because he's on the wrong side of 30.
Coming up, you were very